My book is, this is like an introduction about my book. My book is about heritage building information modeling for implementing UNESCO procedures. It will talk about challenges, potentials, and issues in regarding to the World Heritage Sites. This is about me, about the author, which is me. I'm an architect and assistant professor at King Abdulaziz University, Faculty of Architecture and Planning, Saudi Arabia, Jeddah. I hold a PhD in BIM from University College London, and master from in Geospatial Information from RMIT University, a bachelor from King Abdulaziz University in Architecture. I'm special and professional in BIM, and have experience in architectural designing, 3D laser scanning, modeling and simulation, virtual reality and augmented reality. Some information about the book. The publisher is Routledge. It's the first edition in July. Well, the first edition was published in July, the 6th of July, 2020. Of course, the language is in English. The hardcover is in 226 pages. The dimensions of the box, of course. It's some of the fact. Bestseller rank is 4,600,000 something, but the important thing is in architecture, 8,840. What is the motivation? The motivation is regarding to Zaid al-Idrisi, which is which was, he said in 2011. He said that the information file of Jeddah was not successful because some of the technical issues regarding to the technical issues, technical reasons, and some of the reasons of the people who did not recognize its value, value of the heritage Jeddah, heritage building in Jeddah. That's why the ICONOS decisions was refused the illumination file of Jeddah. Some issues of the surrounding historical Jeddah. Some of these issues, the fires we had recently in Jeddah. This is some fact mentioned by by engineering Sami Nawar. He said that in 2013, the historical district of Jeddah, hit by worst fire in years, and we lost more than 200 buildings, heritage building, of course. From the number decreased from 575 to 350, which is in fact it's a big problem, and we lose a lot of history and valuable buildings. The good news, in 2014, the World Heritage Committee in Qatar, the nomination file of historical Jeddah, the gate to Mecca, was approved by the UNESCO, which is a good news for us. But what is next? After that, the nomination file need to be, or the heritage sites need to be evaluated each year based on different criteria and based on the management plan that the government provide to the UNESCO. From this side, the book descriptions. The main aim of the book is to develop and explore the value of new invitation digital content to help the UNESCO World Heritage nomination file requirement, and to meet these requirements. Through the detailed of the two BIM case study, we have two BIM case study. One of them Beit Nasif, and the second one is Beit Al Farsi. There is different questions need to be answered during the book, inside the book. How can heritage building information model be used to better maintain, protect, and record the updated information of historical buildings? بعدين عندنا how can HBIM provide innovations in creating the missing information for assessment of UNESCO World Heritage status? What additional value can be sustainable, updated for heritage BIM data provide for each site? And also, how can BIM improve the cultural value of heritage building? And this book will be useful reading for researchers who's researching in the archaeology, World Heritage nomination files, HBIM, digital technology, and of course the architecture and remote sensing, laser scanning, and architectural technology. طيب. Table of contents. The book going to talk about different areas. The first area is going to be about an introduction, and the second chapter will talk about as a review of the UNESCO World Heritage nomination file. Also about the building information modeling and heritage building information modeling as a literature review. بعدين عندنا the third part is about the new model for UNESCO World Heritage nomination file. The fourth one is about Jeddah Heritage Building and the case study. So the case study gonna be in the chapter 4, طيب. And also the method and the technology I used. Lastly, they're gonna be about the conclusion, بعدين followed by the biography and the index. So details about the chapters, review of UNESCO World Heritage nomination files and BIM and Heritage BIM. So there is readers, they're gonna find a lot of information about the literature review about all these topics. And after that, a new model for UNESCO's World Heritage nomination file, summarizing all the process of the UNESCO World Heritage. After that, in chapter 4, Jeddah Heritage BIM, the case study, how can we implement the technique of BIM in the nomination file process. Chapter 6 about future and recommendations. Chapter 5, sorry, in conclusion, and after that, chapter 6 is about future and recommendations, future work and recommendations. Okay. So what is UNESCO? UNESCO basically is the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, which was founded around 7 years ago by the United Nations. اهتمام اليونسكو focusing on خلينا نقول World Heritage sites, always looking for moving the knowledge from generation to generations. And this is to be achieve this idea or this concept. One of them is by digitalizing these things, so we can move this data from generation to another. So one of these goals and aims was by using the digital architecture heritage, or by using building information modeling. UNESCO World Heritage nomination file. There is different steps for that. The main steps is by خلينا نقول like stages. The first stages is by providing a list for the inventories list. After that, there is a nomination file اللي هو need to include all the requirement maps, documentations, documents about the site to be checked by the icon and iconos. After that, they're gonna submit these things to the icon and iconos for the third stage. Next, it's going to be submitted to the committee, the World Heritage Committee, to be checked, double checked, and to give the decision. Here, in detail about the process, the World Heritage Center. So first of all, they're going to send all these documents to be checked. If it's complete, it's going to be moved to the second step. If not incomplete, it's going to be resubmitted again by the government. The next stage, it will be submitted to ICOMOS and ICON. After that, it's going to be evaluated until the ICOMOS World Heritage panel. Next, it will be sent to the World Heritage Committee to be to get or to make the decision. Within it, it's going to be inside the listed or not. The example of UNESCO World Heritage, but after that, in Saudi Arabia, after they approved the World Heritage Committee, they approved the nomination file of historical Jeddah, which was called the Historical Jeddah Nomination File Gate to Mecca. We had some challenges with this nomination file, such as the process and how can we document it and how can we evaluate the sites to meet the requirement. So we propose a new model for the World Heritage Nomination File based on building information modeling. Right. So the examples was Nastضيف House. We had a case study, which is Nastضيف House, starting from the document, the original document, the CAD document, and all the researches which was done in regarding to the historical building in Jeddah. So we have as a data collection, or we can say it like data acquisitions, which called laser scanning. We use the laser scanning to document all the building from inside and outside, which is here in this case Nastضيف House, to produce the elevations, the drawings, the 2D drawings. The accuracy was more than fine, or خلينا نقول it's the accuracy was 0.002 millimeter. And this is an 3D an animation for the 3D laser scanning. And here we modeled all the data received from the laser scanning into BIM environment, with providing the very high level of details, which is OLED 500. Sometimes they said it's as-built level of details. Right. And here's some of the document we produce from the engineering document we produce from the BIM environment type section, with highly accuracy, with a high accuracy here for the section elevations, right, plans. And after that, we integrate all the documents here into the InfraWorks with including all the GIS data, vector and raster data included here, to provide all the documents. And after that, the main idea is to provide a complete 3D model. This 3D model have all the documents, all the necessary requirement for the government, or for the committees, ICONOS, such as ICONOS, or even the World Heritage Center. That's it, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. We asked everyone if they have questions to send it now. And we shared the previous talk that we did, which was eventually in Arabic, about laser scanning.
8:22 p.m.
So the first question, where we can find this book?
Amazon, Routledge. Okay, Amazon and Routledge, and maybe Google Books. They have it.
Okay, the book name is the same one that we have in the post, right?
Yes, Heritage Building Information Modeling, Implementing UNESCO Procedures, Challenges and Potentials and Issues.
Okay. Okay, so the first question we have from Badia: what are the main challenges when working with heritage buildings regarding BIM?
Level of details. Level of details is the most important things to choose and to determine. If we don't have the level of details, it will be a disaster actually. And the requirement of the clients. You need to know what you want to provide for them.
Okay.
Or to archive.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have voice question from Fatima.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed, for the great lecture. I'm a great fan of your work and I follow you intensively on Instagram because you are, I think, one of the first people in the Middle East who came across Heritage BIM and who are intensively using it and proving that we can use it in the Middle East just as well as other countries. I came across your Digital Architecture Heritage Initiative, which is a volunteering work, I think. The digitally document Jeddah's work. And we are working currently to implement a similar project in Baghdad. So I was wondering, what were the first steps that you took? And can you briefly explain the process you went through?
طيب, the process. Okay, so the first step some of the process. The first process, yes, to have the original document, okay, for the site. طيب, the original document is very important to have what I said, plan. طيب, you're gonna have a clear plan, and after that you will implement all the technique and technology you have. طيب, determine the level of details, and after that you're gonna start in our case we're using the laser scanning and the photogrammetry, the close range photogrammetry, to document the building. And next step, we modeled all these heritage sites into digital modeling or BIM environment such as Revit or ArchiCAD or even the Rhino. Next step, we provide, we link all the document, informations into the model, the BIM model. Even the historical documents, we attach these with the model. Then we provide a plan for the restoration or for any conservations for this heritage. Right? And to be provided to government, the most important, how to provide this to the government or the decision makers. This is the process. I hope I answered your question.
I think she had muted herself, so
okay.
Hopefully yes. So yes, here she is.
Thank you, Doctor. I was wondering about some technical issues. We don't have the means currently for laser scanners, so we only use photogrammetry. And I was wondering about what are the main points to look at. And the second question is, how do you deal with the storage? I know we have to link all the metadata into the model in order to call it a heritage building information model. How do you deal with the large file size, and where do you store it?
Okay, the large files. You have BIM 3060, right?
Yes.
You can use it. Okay, or sometimes you're gonna use. I think Autodesk provide a lot of platform and to be used actually. Some of ArchiCAD also provide cloud service to be used, and I think it's a little bit cheaper than the one provided from Autodesk. And sometimes we use Google Drive to share this data.
Yes.
One of the most challenges I think in regarding to use the laser scanning is the huge amount of data. The size of data is very big. In some cases, Nastضيف House, Nastضيف House, we actually did more than 150 scans, which is in turn was more than I think 60 gig, 60 gig, yes, 60 gig. So it's a huge data actually. Right? And how to deal with this in BIM platforms such as Revit, it's very difficult. And how to recognize the details. I think this is need to be, it's a good area for researching.
Could you provide, thank you. Could you provide your information for future collaborations and?
Oh, yes, of course. Somewhere here. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Fatima. So we still don't have written questions, but we have some raised hands. We have Sharif Al-Adawi. Sharif.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sharif Al-Adawi. Thank you for your presentation, Dr. Ahmed. My question is, did you model your building from A to Z within using the Revit application only, or you had different platforms be used through your modeling? As well as did you have modeled each detail of your facade within using these applications, or what?
Yeah, both. I'm a big fan of Autodesk, so that's why all my work in Autodesk actually. This is regarding for the first point. The second point is about the details. Yes, I modeled everything in Revit, starting from the facades, okay, the roshans, and even the decorations stuff. I'm gonna show you some of them. Here somewhere, yes. Even I create something called a component library. Right? Hijazi component library, as you can see here, the details, okay, some of them.
Let me stop you sharing your screen so we can see it. Just a second. Yes.
Right. These some of the decoration stuff and the facade, okay. So we documented all these based on the laser scanning, and even here you can see the steps of the modeling, right? So this, as you can see here, how we model the roshans. Sorry, yeah, here. Starting from here to here, okay.
Yeah, it's down, up, up, down.
Up, down.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a little bit confusing, right?
Yeah.
And even here, I'm gonna show you how to model the sheesh, as you can, right? The sheesh is a kind of a part of the roshans, which was done in this page here, right? Okay. Clear? Is it clear? Okay, so
yes,
the steps
clear.
of we studied the technique of modeling these elements. So to provide complete models and component for the sheesh and roshan and these kind of elements.
So we have now Dr. Abdul Mohsen Farhat.
Okay, assalamu alaikum.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thank you for thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed, for the presentation, and thank you, ArchiNet, for your efforts. My question is not related to the preservation cases. It relates to the conservation rehabilitation cases, which applies to many buildings in historic Jeddah. In order to save historic Jeddah, we need to make it more economically viable. One of the probably clear ways of doing so is to transfer the ground floor into shops or restaurants. And this may require larger spans, at least on the facade. So I wonder, of course, we know that due to the requirement of privacy, all the openings are very small. Also, the construction technique, all the openings are very small, especially on the ground floor. So I wonder whether there were some attempts to keep the structure, but to open an arch, a larger span arch, maybe 4 meters, something like that, in the same stone wall, so that you have more visibility from the street into the shops or restaurants or whatever. Is that possible, or have it been tried at all? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Abdel Mohsen. The question is very technical, and I think it's need to be طيب. We can make a simulations, simulation model for this. After in the BIM model, we can make a simulations and we can study the structure. Okay, so is it gonna be work or not? طيب. In case of Heritage Jeddah building, my opinion, it's very difficult to make something like that. In case we have some of frames, like special frames or something like that, to hold the load on these frames.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ahmed. I think that's it. We didn't have any more questions so far, so we can wrap up. Thank you again for the presentation, and we are looking forward to see you again.
Yes, of course. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks a lot.